My name is Lucas, and I'm 24 years old. If you had asked me not long ago how I felt about my family, I would have probably smiled and said complicated, but fine. But the truth is, the night of my sister's birthday changed everything. That evening carved open years of buried resentment and forced me to confront the truth I had been avoiding all my life. I was never really one of them, not in the way Emma was. It's strange how one small moment, something as simple as a gift wrapped in shiny paper, can act like a hammer cracking through years of silence. That night, I realized the cracks had always been there. I had just been too desperate to ignore them. Emma, my younger sister by 2 years, was always the golden child. From the moment we were kids, she had the spotlight. She was showered with praise for her grades, celebrated with gifts whenever she landed a role in a school play, and spoiled with the newest phone or sparkling jewelry. Whenever I achieved something, no matter how significant, the reaction was muted. When I brought home my first job offer after college, my father's response was a flat, "Well, that's what's expected." No congratulations, no pride, just expectation. I told myself it didn't matter, that if I worked harder and proved myself more, I would eventually earn recognition, but deep inside, that hunger gnawed at me. So there we were at the dinner table on Emma's birthday, a cake glittered with golden candles, surrounded by smiling faces. Everyone's voices rose in song as she soaked in their admiration. I clapped and smiled, rehearsing the role I had been forced to play. I already knew how the evening would unfold. It was a script I had seen too many times. When the singing ended, my father reached into his pocket and pulled out a long, slender box. His face softened with the kind of warmth he never gave me. Emma ripped the wrapping open, gasped, and pulled out a gleaming luxury watch, the kind of gift people stare at in shop windows, wondering who could possibly afford such a thing. "You deserve the best, Emma," Dad told her proudly. The words stung sharper than I let on. Then came my turn. My mother slid a medium-sized box across the table, smirking as if she was in on some private joke. My heart thudded with faint hope. Maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. But when I lifted the lid, my face fell. Inside was a dented, second-hand toaster, not even new, not even in its original packaging. Mom chuckled and said, "Now you can finally learn to cook something other than noodles." Emma rolled her eyes, laughed, and added, "Perfect for you." The whole table erupted in laughter, everyone except me. I forced a smile, but inside I felt the ground slipping away. I wanted to ask why I was always the punchline, why they thought humiliating me was entertainment, but I already knew the answer. Whenever I tried before, I was told I was too sensitive, that I couldn't take a joke, so I did what I always did. I swallowed the hurt, excused myself early, and carried the toaster to my room like a grotesque trophy of humiliation. That night, sitting on the edge of my bed, I stared at the toaster. A watch for Emma, a toaster for me. The metaphor couldn't have been clearer. Memories cascaded through my mind. The soccer games where Dad missed my goals but never skipped a single one of Emma's dance recitals. The years I was forced to mow the lawn while Emma was excused because she's a girl. The laptop I saved up for while Emma's was handed to her without question. It all piled up until I could barely breathe under the weight of it. The next morning, I made my decision. I packed my clothes, my laptop, my sketchpad, things that actually mattered to me, and slipped out without slamming a single door. No note, no explanation, just silence. I rented a small room across town with my savings. For days, no one noticed I was gone. Or maybe they noticed, but didn't care enough to call. That realization hurt more than the toaster ever could. A week later, the flood began. Missed calls from Mom, short, clipped messages from Dad. "Where are you? This isn't funny, Lucas." Their sudden concern felt hollow, performative. Where was this urgency when I was living under their roof? Invisible? Where was it when I needed pride, or encouragement, or love? When Mom finally showed up at my workplace, holding a bag of homemade cookies, it wasn't concern I saw on her face, it was calculation. She begged me to come home because Emma's birthday celebration wasn't over and it would be embarrassing if I didn't show up for the extended family dinner. That was the truth of it, not love, not care, just appearances. I stayed away, and when I checked social media later that weekend, I saw Emma at the center of another celebration, wearing her glittering watch and smiling like she owned the world. My stomach turned when I saw the expensive restaurant in the background, the same one I had always wanted to try, the same one my parents had claimed was too pricey for me. Weeks passed. My father finally called me directly, his tone sharp and patronizing. "Enough of this nonsense," he said. "Stop being selfish. Come home." Selfish. That word echoed in my head like a curse. I was selfish for leaving, after years of invisibility, after years of being erased. And then came the breaking point. Emma posted a video on social media, filmed in my old bedroom. My sanctuary had been gutted, walls stripped, shelves emptied, furniture gone. In its place stood racks of her clothes, bags, and a vanity table. "Finally turned this wasted room into something useful," she laughed. My room had been transformed into her walk-in closet. The comments underneath were full of praise. "OMG Queen, you deserve it." My blood ran cold. I confronted my mother, but she dismissed me with a sigh. "You weren't using it, you left. Actions have consequences." She called me immature for being upset. That was when it hit me. I wasn't just overlooked, I had been erased. Later that night, Emma sent me a photo of herself in that very room. Caption: "Out with the old, in with the new." That was the moment something inside me broke clean. The last thread of hope snapped, and in its place grew a quiet, dangerous resolve. In the months that followed, I built a new life piece by piece. I worked tirelessly at my job, stayed late to learn what no one else wanted to learn, and soon earned responsibilities far beyond my title. My efforts didn't go unnoticed. My boss promoted me. At the same time, I began freelancing, taking small art and design projects. Every client who paid me for my sketches validated me in ways my family never had. I bought a new toaster, not second-hand, but sleek, modern, and mine. My family's calls grew less frequent but more desperate. Their voices, once filled with scolding, now carried uncertainty and pleading. Emma, the golden child, had begun to falter. Her internship collapsed under her entitlement and poor performance. Whispers spread in professional circles. Her reputation cracked. And then came the call I never expected. My father's voice, quiet, almost meek. "Lucas, your sister needs help. You're in a position to do something about it." For years, they had reduced me to nothing. Now they needed me. The irony was almost poetic. I didn't rush to answer. I let them stew in uncertainty, the same way they had left me stewing in silence all those years. Meanwhile, I built my own reputation stronger. In networking events, I listened as professionals described Emma as entitled, difficult, arrogant. I didn't defend her. I didn't sabotage her. I simply let the truth breathe. Eventually, Emma herself reached out, texting, "I know you're connected now. Just help me, please." I thought of the photo she had posted, laughing in my old room. "Out with the old, in with the new." I replied with 3 words, "I'll think about it," and then I left her in silence. Her downfall was swift. Doors that once opened for her slammed shut. Applications went unanswered. My parents grew frantic. They begged, pleaded, cried, but I knew the truth. This was never about love. It was about control. One night, Emma showed up at my apartment, stripped of her confidence, clutching her designer purse like a lifeline. Her voice cracked as she begged me to save her. For a brief moment, I saw her not as the golden child, but as a person, broken and desperate. And then I remembered that toaster. I handed it to her, the same dented, second-hand toaster that had started it all. She stared at it, confused, horrified. "There's nothing I can do for you," I said quietly. "This is all you ever thought I was worth. Now you can live with it." And I closed the door. Behind it, I heard her sobs fading down the hall, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. I felt powerful, seen. I looked around my apartment, at the promotion letter pinned to my fridge, at the sketches scattered across my desk, at the brand new toaster sitting proudly in my kitchen. The ache in my chest had been replaced with something steadier, pride. Out with the old, in with the new. Only this time, it wasn't Emma's story, it was mine. If my story struck something in you, if you've ever felt overlooked, erased, or underestimated, don't just walk away. Share this video, subscribe to my channel, and join me here, because together, We'll keep proving that even the forgotten can rise and rewrite their story.